LIV versus PGA. What's the real conflict? Golf, a game of quiet elegance. For centuries, it has been a sport of patience, honor, and tradition. The fairway has always been a place of calm, where the loudest sound is the crisp crack of a perfect drive or the gentle whisper of a putt sliding into the cup. But now that calm has been shattered, not by the weather, not by the crowds, but by something far more dangerous. A storm is raging over golf's once untouchable kingdom, a storm fueled by money, power, and betrayal. This is golf's modern civil war, the PGA Tour versus LIV Golf, a battle not just for trophies, but for the very soul of the game. The Kingdom of Golf. For decades, the PGA Tour reigned supreme, the home of golf's greatest legends: Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy. These weren't just athletes. They were symbols of tradition, discipline, and legacy. The PGA's rules were clear. You worked your way up. You traveled, you qualified, you fought through cuts. Prize money was earned, never guaranteed. To win a PGA event meant something. To win a major meant everything. The Masters, the US Open, the Open Championship, the PGA Championship. Four holy grails that defined careers and etched names into history. But like all great empires, the PGA's dominance made it blind to change. It had prestige. It had the power. It believed it could never be challenged. It was wrong. The rumblings of disruption. Far from the fairways, in the glass towers of global finance, a new vision of golf was being forged. A league that promised to shake the sport to its very core. The name? LIV Golf. Backed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, a financial giant with hundreds of billions at its disposal, LIV Golf wasn't just aiming to compete with the PGA. It wanted to replace it. The plan was bold, even outrageous. Fewer tournaments. Just 8 to 14 per year. Shotgun starts. Everyone tees off at once. No slow build-up. No cuts. No one goes home empty-handed. Team formats with names, captains, and branding. And the big one, guaranteed money beyond anything the PGA had ever imagined. We're not talking millions. We're talking hundreds of millions. The bait. By 2021, LIV Golf was actively recruiting the PGA's biggest names. Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Cameron Smith. The offers were staggering. Reports said Phil Mickelson was offered $200 million. Dustin Johnson, $150 million. Tiger Woods, an astonishing $800 million, which he turned down. For comparison, Tiger Woods, across 3 decades on the PGA Tour, had earned $121 million in prize money. LIV was offering players more than that in a single contract before they even swung a club. It wasn't just money. It was freedom. Fewer events. More time with family. No grinding to make cuts. No worrying about missing a paycheck. For some, it was a dream come true. For others, it was the end of golf's integrity. The first betrayals. When Phil Mickelson, a 6-time major champion and one of golf's most beloved icons, signed with LIV, shockwaves ripped through the sport. He accused the PGA Tour of being manipulative and obnoxiously greedy. But his decision came at a cost. Sponsors flood. Fans turned on him. In press conferences, he looked like a man caught between defiance and doubt. Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, all followed. Some claimed it wasn't just about the money, but their words were drowned out by the size of the checks. And hanging over it all was the shadow of Saudi Arabia's human rights controversies. Critics accused LIV of sports washing, using golf to clean up its image. Players were forced to answer questions that went far beyond the course. The PGA's counterattack. The PGA Tour wasted no time striking back. Commissioner Jay Monahan announced that any player joining LIV Golf would be immediately suspended from the tour, losing eligibility for the FedEx Cup and possibly the Ryder Cup. Rory McIlroy stepped forward as the PGA's loudest defender. He accused LIV of buying the game and destroying the traditions that made golf special. Tiger Woods, the most famous golfer alive, rejected LIV's $800 million offer and stood firmly with the tour. The battle lines were clear. PGA Tour, history, tradition, legacy. LIV Golf, disruption, innovation, and unimaginable wealth. The courtroom war. The conflict didn't just play out on fairways, it spilled into the courts. LIV players sued the PGA, accusing it of anti-competitive behavior. The PGA countersued, claiming LIV had interfered with player contracts. Court filings revealed private communications, harsh words, strategic maneuvers, and behind-the-scenes bitterness that shattered golf's gentlemanly image. Suddenly, golf wasn't a gentleman's game anymore. It was a blunt sport. The fan civil war. Fans found themselves caught in the crossfire. Some embraced LIV's energy, music at events, faster play, team identities, and guaranteed stars every round. They said the PGA had grown stale and needed a shake-up. Others saw LIV as an insult, a shortcut to wealth for players who no longer wanted to earn their wins through the grind of tour life. On social media, the arguments were vicious. Friendships split. Opinions hardened. This wasn't just about golf anymore. It was about identity, values, and what the game truly meant. The numbers game. By mid-2023, LIV Golf had burned through over $2 billion in player deals and event costs. Dustin Johnson earned more in his first year with LIV than in his entire PGA career. But there was a problem. The ratings weren't there. Despite the money, despite the stars, LIV events often pulled far fewer viewers than PGA tournaments. Critics claimed you can't buy history, and without history, there's no heart. But LIV wasn't playing a one-year game. They had the money to play for decades, and they were willing to wait. The twist no one saw coming. And then, the unthinkable happened. In June 2023, after a year of insults, lawsuits, and promises never to compromise, the PGA Tour and LIV Golf announced they were merging. Players found out the same way fans did, through news alerts and headlines. Rory McIlroy, who had fought tooth and nail for the PGA, called himself a sacrificial lamb. Phil Mickelson, who had been vilified for leaving, now stood vindicated. The deal combined the PGA Tour, LIV Golf, and Europe's DP World Tour under a new for-profit company. The lawsuits were dropped. The fighting stopped, at least on paper. The real reason. Why merge after so much hatred? Simple. The PGA was bleeding money in legal fees and losing star players. LIV had endless cash, but no credibility or historical weight. Together, they could stop destroying each other and start dominating the sport and the business. But in doing so, the PGA destroyed its own moral high ground. The same Saudi funding it once condemned, it now embraced. The wounds that won't heal. Even with the merger, the scars remain. Some PGA loyalists feel betrayed, having turned down millions to protect the tour, only for the tour to join forces with the league they were told was wrong. LIV players, once outcasts, now walk back into PGA events without apology. Some fans welcome them, others never will. This isn't just a merger of organizations, it's a collision of values. And values don't merge easily. The future of golf. What comes next? The new structure promises the best players in the world competing more often. But will that be enough? Will team golf take over? Will traditions like the Masters and the Open adapt to this new reality? Will the game become more global and diverse, or just more corporate and money-driven? And in the shadows, one question lingers. Was this about growing golf, or about controlling it? But in this new era, stillness is gone. The grass is still green. The ball is still white. The swing is still pure. But behind every handshake lies suspicion. Behind every smile lies calculation. And beneath every trophy lies the unspoken truth. In golf's greatest war, there may never be a true winner. So, if you found this video of golf's greatest battle compelling, Don't forget to hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update on the latest in sports drama, power struggles, and game-changing stories. And please share this video with friends who love golf or anyone curious about how tradition and money collide in the world of sports. Thanks for watching. And remember, behind every swing, there's always more than meets the eye.